You've led teams, fixed systems, trained entire departments, but when it comes to launching your consulting business, you are terrified. You feel crippled with anxiety and you feel like honestly you've just hit a brick wall. Why is that? In today's video, I want to talk about some of the things that are holding brilliant, professional, expert women just like you back from launching their consulting business and building the legacy and the income that they deserve, and how you can finally break through it. Hey friends, if you're new here, I am Brianca Kirkman and I am a personal branding and marketing strategist. I specialize in helping mid to senior level professional women package their expertise into profitable consulting businesses and land their first or next client in just 90 days. Subscribe to my channel for weekly videos on how to pivot from corporate employee to consultant with clarity, confidence, and strategy. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's holding you back from launching your consulting business and how stepping up and betting on yourself could change the game for you, your clients, and even your community. If you're serious about building a consulting business that is aligned with your values, your voice, your skills, your expertise, all of those things, then I'd love for you to check out my certified consultant program. It is the blueprint to land your first or next consulting client in just 90 days and monetize the skills that you have cultivated inside of your corporate roles and even just like with your lived experiences. Let's talk about the top 3 fears that I see that are holding professional women back from starting their consulting businesses and why they're not only fixable but freeing when you address them head on. Number 1 is going to be the fear of insecurity. You might be sitting there and you're like, what if I lose stability? So let's keep it real. You've had a paycheck probably since you were 16. You are used to a steady income. If you're anything like me, you probably built your life and your career around the idea of climbing the corporate ladder, receiving a steady paycheck, and just being able to have security and stability in your life from your skills and from your expertise. You've got responsibilities, you got kids, you got bills, you got student loans, our economy is in a recession. Like, you have all these things that are just weighing on you. And the idea of pulling the rug from underneath your feet just so you can go and pursue your dreams or chase your passions is something that feels crippling. Like, it doesn't feel real. Walking away from something that is stabilizing and that has been taught to us as the holy grail and the right thing to do can feel risky. But here's the truth. 56% of women in corporate say that they feel undervalued at work, and nearly half say that they are exhausted by the lack of flexibility and fulfillment. Does that sound like you? Because I know that it was me when I was working in corporate. When I worked as a digital director, I was working over 100 hours a week. I was constantly choosing between myself and my work, taking calls and text messages at 2 a.m. I was completely overwhelmed. I was on the brink of risking my relationship because I didn't even have the capacity to just show up fully for a date night. It was insane. I realized that it wasn't really serving me, but it took a very long time for me to be able to really lean into the idea of taking my skills and helping other people full time, because I was afraid that if I did that I would be like a starving artist or hand to mouth, like waiting on a paycheck, waiting on a client. That was probably one of my greatest fears. I'm so grateful, like in hindsight, that I was able to see past that and move past it, because that allowed me to explore the possibilities, not just to see starting my own consulting business from the lens of like lack and what negative things could happen, but also to see it from the lens of like overflow and what good things could come and what impact I could have and what influence and income and what that could look like for me to build something that was like generational. Inside Clarity, the coins, we help you build a quiet exit strategy, because one of the things that I believe in is that like you don't have to announce that you want to leave corporate loudly. You don't have to tell everyone your plans. You get to make your strategy and work your strategy in a silo or just with your trusted confidants, if that makes sense. You can build your consulting brand on the side and prove your model, prove your framework, work with clients, get testimonials, test what it is that you want to do, get that foundation before you decide to jump off the deep end. And then when it's time and you feel confident and your income is replacing your corporate salary and that the things that you are doing and the work that you're doing is working, then at that point we talk about what could that transition look like? What is the step to that transition? How many clients do you need to have on your roster in order to transition confidently? And so consulting doesn't have to be an all or nothing. It is something that you can do while also maintaining the stability that you have in your corporate role. A lot of times like people talk about the 5 to 9, and that could be the 5 to 9 before you go into your corporate role or the 5 to 9 after your corporate role. Whatever that looks like for you, we talk about how do you build this consulting business, leveraging the time that you have, and how do you do it intentionally without burning out or feeling overwhelmed. Number 2, fear of visibility. I don't want to market myself. I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to be an influencer or a content creator. Friend, I get it, okay? You have always let your work speak for yourself. But in business, your message, the impact that you have, the clients that you work with, the outcomes that you deliver, those become your message. And that can be a little intimidating. Honestly, it was something that I struggled with for a long time. And if I'm being like very truthful and transparent, it's something that I still struggle with. I am naturally not the kind of person who likes to put myself out there. I like to be the smartest person in the room, but I really enjoy working behind the scenes. I want to be the person that you know that you should come to if you want to solve a problem, but I don't want to necessarily create reels or TikToks or things like that. That's always been something that I've struggled with. One thing that I believe is that marketing doesn't mean dancing in reels, right? Or telling all of your business online. One of my favorite quotes that one of my friends says all the time is that I share personal things. I don't share private things. And I always think about that when I think about like how we show up online as women and as consultants. It's like when I show up, I want to show up and share my expertise. Maybe I do want to share things that are personal about me, the fact that I like to roller skate or I like to go to brunch with my friends or things like that. But I don't want to share private things. I'm not here to be an influencer. I'm not here to give you an open door look into my life. And so what this means is that you have to get really good at positioning, especially if you're going to use social media and digital marketing as a strategy for growing your consulting business. And the truth is that you might not want to use social media and digital marketing as one of those strategies. You might want to leverage other means like SEO or paid advertising. You might want to leverage going to networking events. There's so many different strategies that you can leverage to grow your consulting business. And we get to explore what those strategies look like. And so if marketing yourself, if creating content is hard or challenging or something that presents a barrier for you, we get to cultivate a custom strategy to work around that. In the program, I show you how you can communicate your value in a way that feels good to you and authentic, honest to who you are, in your integrity, right? Not something that will feel cringy. We want to create a strategy for you that doesn't include gimmicks, right? We just want to focus on your clear messaging that lands with decision makers who are going to pay you, that drives results, and that builds a genuine, authentic connection between you and the community of people that you want to serve. So, quick question. What is one fear that has been holding you back from starting your consulting business? I want you to drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it, and maybe even turn that into a future video that I can give you a plan or a strategy for, to think about like how you can break through that fear and get to a life and a business that serves you and fills you with purpose and with passion, because I really genuinely believe that is when we, particularly as women, that's when we thrive. Fear number 3, the fear of failure. What if I launch this offer and no one enrolls or no one buys? This is a big one. And honestly, it's not failure that you're afraid of. It's the feeling of putting yourself out there and being ignored. I think that as women, particularly women of color, we have been trained, literally trained to be the best, to be elite, to put our best foot forward, to do everything right and in order, to be recognized for our accomplishments. And sometimes we are striving for that recognition. And I think that when you're building a consulting business, especially when you're building it behind the scenes and you're laying the foundation, there is no recognition that's coming along with that, right? It's just you doing the work silently. And then you put that offer out there and you promote it, maybe on social media, and it's crickets. And that can feel discouraging. It can feel isolating and frustrating. That's not the only option that is available to you. That's why we build systems, right? We teach you how to validate your offer, identify your audience, and create a marketing engine that runs with or without social media. We teach you how to leverage your networks and your connections and how to get in front of people who are already in your community, who are decision makers for the offer that you are launching. And the reason that is important is because a lot of times your first clients aren't going to be your family and friends, but they're also not going to be strangers on the internet. They may be people who are within your circle of influence, within your phone book, in your community, people who you've worked with in the past, people who have heard about you from afar. And so we want to be sure that when we are preparing to roll out your offer, that we're looking at the totality of people who would be impacted by the work that you do. So that way we can put your offer in front of them in a smart, strategic way. Clarity to Coins is not about throwing spaghetti at the wall. It is a framework to help you attract real clients consistently without burning out. Why now? You're probably sitting there and you're just like, why should I do this now? I could wait a year. I could wait 2 years. I could wait 5 years. The thing that I want you to know is that waiting keeps you stuck. The world needs you to bring your skills and your expertise to the table and into the light. You're not just building a business. You're contributing to our country's economic engine. According to the SBA, the Small Business Administration, women-owned businesses generate $1.9 trillion in revenue every year. A lot of times it's us women who hold back from putting our skills and expertise out into the world because we want to wait until everything is perfect. We want to wait until the stars align and we already have a client and things like that. We don't want to go through the process of the messy middle. We don't want to figure it out because we don't want to waste our time or waste our family's time, waste our resources. But the truth is that when we put our businesses out there and we win, our families benefit, our communities benefit, your legacy grows. And that's what our company is all about. We basically want to help women who want to take their skills and their expertise. We want to help them transform that into powerful personal brands that create income, influence, and impact so that way it can ripple. The more people that you are able to impact, the more people those people get to impact. There is no better time than now to think about how you can leverage your skills to capitalize for yourself and for your family. And there's also a statistic that states there is a growing number of businesses that flourish in economic recessions and depressions and things like that. Honestly, just having the framework to take your skills and take your expertise and make more money from them, impact others, improve your communities, right? It honestly is just not only good for you, but it's good for everyone. And so that's why now is the perfect time for you to get started. So if you're ready to finally bet on yourself, I want you to download my free quick start guide called the Private Pivot Plan. It is a no fluff guide designed to help you get clear on your offer, position your expertise, and make your first move into consulting without necessarily having to broadcast your pivot, because pivots can be powerful without being public. Drop your fear in the comments. I really want to read about it, and if there's any way that I can support you as you pivot into consulting, please do not hesitate to reach out. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.